But I can answer the question, why are there, or at least attempt to look at this idea that there are so many different ways of explaining and exploring the infinite reality. And so I liken it to a mountain. I lived in Seattle for many, many, many years, and there's a beautiful mountain, Mount Rainier. It's absolutely gorgeous. And if you think of the one infinite as a mountain, most mountains have many different faces. Also in Switzerland, if we go to the valley that I always like to go to in Lauterbrunnen, there's a series of mountains, and the Eiger Mountain has a face that is considered one of the most difficult rock climbing faces in the world. And the Jungfrau has one of the largest glaciers in the world. And at the feet of these beautiful mountains are gorgeous forests and beautiful meadows and brooks and creeks. Now, and there's a beautiful valley that you can go paragliding in. Okay, so if I'm a paraglider and I run off the side of a mountain and I spend 3 or 4 hours gliding over the mountain and around the valley, I'm going to explain it to you from a certain point of view. I'm going to tell you about how beautiful it is to see the entire river in its glaciated color, and how amazing it is to feel the wind and to feel the currents of the air. If I'm a rock climber, I'm going to talk to you about the kinds of belaying equipment I'm going to need and the different routes that you can go up the rock wall. And I'm going to ask you, what's your level of competency and comfort? And I'm going to maybe suggest that you take this route or that route, because I've actually gone those routes before, and I know which ones might be in your at your level of confidence as a rock climber. If I'm a hiker, I'm going to tell you about the most beautiful hikes that are across the valley that are going to give you the best views of the mountains. And by the way, are going to have these amazing wildflowers. And you're going to want to sit in this place and that place just so that you can see this vista and enjoy being surrounded by the beautiful wildflowers. Now, who has the right description of the mountain or of the area? Nobody. Everybody has the description of the area from the particular vantage point and the particular way in which they're engaging with it. And so in the science of mind, we understand that this is what's going on all the time. Every spiritual tradition is seeing a different face of the mountain based on a cultural and historical lineage that has hundreds, if not tens of thousands of years to grow in. Every culture has its own unique way of moving through time and having responses to all the things that are going on, and to then begin to describe that mountain from the particular vantage point. And so if you imagine it's an infinite mountain, I'm standing on this side of it and I'm seeing just this portion of it. Well, you might be standing on the back side seeing another portion of it, and you could be looking at a sheer rock face, and I could be looking at a glacier, and we would describe it completely differently, but we would be talking about the same mountain. And so in the science of mind, what we try to do is be less concerned about the forms, the dogmas, the doctrines, what you have to believe in, but more importantly, what are the golden threads among all faith traditions that seem to tease out some fundamental truths about the mountain? First of all, that it's infinite. Second of all, there is something about faith or trust or belief that seems incredibly important. Third of all, every faith tradition talks about the impulse of love as being fundamental to the infinite, right? These are some of the basic golden threads, common threads. Aldous Huxley calls it the perennial philosophy, that allows us to see that while we're all seeing different sides of the mountain, there's something, first of all, there's something similar about how this overarching thing is being described, and there's something valuable that each viewpoint is bringing. right? Buddhism brings us mindfulness. Hinduism brings us the law of cause and effect. Christianity brings us the incarnation. Every spiritual tradition adds something to the evolution of spirituality in the human consciousness. And as we grow in our ability to understand the universe and our ability to understand ourselves, we can see that over the millenniums, the understanding of the infinite has actually matured. And if we allow ourselves to mature with it and not get stuck in a particular viewpoint, we can see that it continues to grow. There are many Christian communities and theological exegesis of Christianity right now that are very similar to where New Thought is going, to where progressive Buddhism is going, because it is progressing. Ernest Holmes says, when we have a better understanding of humanity, we will have a bigger God. Our God grows, our understanding of the universe and the infinite grows as we grow in our understanding about ourselves and about what's going on. And why people stay stuck in it? Well, my answer to that, or my belief about that, is because it's familiar, it's secure, and it's something that we understand. And so maybe in the science of mind, we are no less guilty about that. We do try to stay open at the top, but we rest in the confidence of what it is that we know. So we keep finding our way. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. I really appreciate getting to spend this time with you. Please do join us at 10:30 for our Easter celebration. We will have Q&A afterwards. The practitioners will also be available in their room for individual one-on-one prayer. You get to go in your own breakout and have spiritual mind treatment, just as we've been talking about today. So have a beautiful morning. Bye for now.